I mountain bike and ski, and I use this van to take me all over the place, get up into the mountains and do my thing. I love the way that it looks on the outside because it's kind of intimidating, and I feel kind of funny driving it around because I'm fairly small and innocent looking.
Not that intimidating.
There's a lot of stigma against girls going hiking and doing things alone, and I just want to help more women feel empowered to do everything from going backpacking by themselves, or even living in a van by themselves, or just living a more fulfilling life in general. Huge amounts of sexism in the bike industry, which is really unfortunate, you know, and that's ultimately the reason why I left.
We got a special guest today.
Hi!
And what's your name?
I'm Callie.
Right, Callie, and what's behind you?
Oh, you know, this is my van, Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda,
Yeah.
look at this thing.
Yeah.
It's freaking insane.
She's a 96 GMC Savannah, two-wheel drive, and she also happens to be my home.
So you live in Rhonda full-time?
Full-time.
And who's this buddy?
This is Dusty.
Hi, Dusty, how you doing? You want to tell us a little bit about Rhonda?
Yeah, sure. She's a beast of a van. Pretty awesome for everything that I've thrown at it so far. I mountain bike and ski, and I use this van to take me all over the place, get up into the mountains and do my thing. So
right.
Yeah, I converted it myself. It took a couple of months and lots of practicing carpentry skills that I didn't know I had, but it turned out great. I'm really happy with it, and yeah, I can show you the outside. So outside we've got some mud. I got it stuck earlier today.
Factory included.
We've got tinted windows for privacy. I've got this ARB touring awning, and it's very large. Keeps the rain and snow off, and the sun too, but you don't have to worry about the sun too much here in the Pacific Northwest. That big box is my garage. So we've got dog food, sleeping bag, camping gear, ski gear, all the gear.
And what's that big plate thing?
That big plate is my solar panel setup. 300-watt solar panel.
So awesome. And do you like having a lifted van?
Oh, I love it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's lifted, and I recently redid the suspension because I blew the first round of original suspension.
Oh, gnarly.
Yeah, now it does crazy good off-road, and it's pretty fun. It's got I'll show you my favorite feature.
Whoa! That's freaking rad.
It scares all the kids away. So this is my bike, Jack.
Oh, your bike has a name too.
Yeah, Jack. Jack and Rhonda.
Jack and Rhonda.
This bike comes with me pretty much everywhere, and that way I'm always ready to go for a ride. And then this is the jerry can that holds all of the diesel for my planar diesel heater that is inside. Tapped in, and
Oh, it's
fuel
tapped
line.
into this.
Yeah, and the fuel line runs under the van and then under the passenger front seat where the diesel heater is located.
So do you want to show us inside?
Yeah, sure. This is the inside of Rhonda.
So
A little
freaking rad.
messy right now. I kind of was rallying to beat the sunlight.
Oh, and this is the
The
heater.
heater, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So just blasts onto my bed, and I can get it nice and toasty when it's cold out. This is my crib. So right here is where the action happens.
There you go.
This is my
That's
bed.
where Dusty's action happens. Dusty.
There's a lot of Callie and Dusty snuggling that happens right
Aw.
here. She keeps me warm at night. So this is the dog drawer. Got Dusty's bed, some food, snacks. This is where I keep all of my clothing. All of the clothing in one drawer. I'm pretty happy with
rad.
it. This is my electrical cabinet. So it's super messy, but just like a bunch of phone chargers and
Oh, wow.
the laptop charger. Not very pretty.
Is that OSHA approved?
Absolutely not.
Ah, and this controls your lights. This
Yes.
switch right here.
Yes, that light switch.
Ah,
Ah.
so dope.
Yeah. And then, let's see, we've got the bookshelf, currently overflowing. Kitchen, we've got the camp stove. I've got it secured, so it just pops up like so when it's cooking time, and then just latch it back down.
And that's where's the propane tank?
I keep it detached and keep it in here. Storage.
That's so cool.
Got my knives, forks, things, spices, coffee. Here I've got most of my food and some more cooking things. Got cutting board, dishes, food, you know. That's the kitchen right there. And here is kind of like I keep my bike stuff for easy access, as well as like the water jug and pots and pans. And this is my stool / garbage can.
And is that what you said? So when you cook in here, because I mean, you can't, I don't know if you guys can see, you can't necessarily stand up, but you said it doesn't really bother you that much.
It doesn't bother me. Here, I'll do a cooking demo. So when I cook, I unhook this, slide it out, and I've got a little stool.
So rad.
My veggies right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And when I need to throw something away, I just stand up. Safety first. Carbon monoxide propane detector.
That's probably smart.
Yeah, I don't feel like dying in my sleep, so that helps. In here, shoes. All the shoes.
There you
just
go.
kind of shoved in there. Not very pretty. And then this is like my bathroom. Got the mirror for when I feel like fixing my hair on occasion. And then I also have my little sink.
Oh, you have a sink in here.
It's not really a sink. It's just like a trough that I brush my teeth into.
What are these latching mechanisms?
I got them at Lowe's. They're just little cabinet latches, and they keep all the doors closed, so when I'm driving, nothing opens, and then I just twist them. Got the fridge up here in between the front seats.
Oh, it's that thing right there.
Yeah.
And is it fridge freezer?
No, just fridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the amenities of frozen food right now.
Ah, it's overrated.
Life. Yeah.
So what's your favorite part about your van?
My favorite part, I mean, I love the way that it looks on the outside, because it's kind of intimidating, and I feel kind of funny driving it around because I'm fairly small and innocent looking.
Not that intimidating.
It's a nice little alter ego for me.
And what would you say you would change about your van build if you were to do it all over again?
Well, this is actually the second time that I built this van out. The first time I built it, I ended up not being super happy with it, so I gutted the whole thing. So this is round 2, and I'm very happy with the way it's turned out. It's not completely done. There's still little things that I need to fix, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy. I have one more thing. This is actually my favorite feature. I'll do a demonstration. It takes a little bit of skill to get it on there though. Twist it on. Got my desk.
Oh my god.
So this is pretty cool because I can work from anywhere, and it's very sturdy for the most part. And then I use it as my TV tray when I'm laying in bed watching movies. Got the home theater, and then when I am cooking, I can just kind of swivel it out of the way.
So those lights above you, are those 12 volt?
These ones, yes, they are 12 volt.
Yeah, and does pretty much everything electricity-wise in here run 12 volt?
Yeah, pretty much everything except for my laptop and phone, and I just have a little tiny plug-in power strip inverter combo thing that I run off of.
And so you have 300 watts of solar on the roof.
Yep.
Is that the only thing charging the battery?
And then it also does the charge as it's driving too. So it's got a battery isolator that keeps the batteries from draining if I'm sitting here, or from draining off of the main front battery. but then it charges. I have 2 batteries in the back, and so
Oh, awesome.
yeah, I haven't yet run out of power.
And would you say you're missing anything in here? Is there something that you really wish you had?
The only thing that I tried really hard to fit in here was like one of the portable toilets, and my van is just too small for that.
So I guess we're going to get into the van life female questions. How do you use the restroom?
I find one.
Awesome.
Yep.
You don't have anything like Hannah's pee funnel?
I do have one, but I think it fell out of my van somewhere.
Someone found
So
it.
someone has a nice surprise. Like, what is that?
Yeah, now, just being, I mean, you're a solo female living in a van by yourself. Would you recommend it to other girls out there? Do you have anything you want to tell maybe some girls who are potentially thinking about doing it?
I say do it. There's nothing bad about it from my end. I haven't had a single bad experience. In fact, it's been like really fun because it's a nice talking point, and it helps you get to know people better when you're traveling, because you know it's fun to have like something to talk about and thing in common with people. Everyone wants to know about the van, and so it's a little icebreaker that's kind of fun. But safety wise, I've never really felt threatened. I have a pocket knife and bear spray if I did happen to, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And the bathroom situation, like, people are very creative and you can make it work, and a lot of people just, I think, should just go for it if they're thinking about it. That's my advice. Go for it.
Right. Yeah. And so I think that's going to tie in really well with what you're trying to do. I know you have plans to create kind of like a women empowerment for outdoor industry program. Mm-hmm. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's called Wild Grit, and I'm still developing it right now, but I'm thinking it's going to be a series of online courses made specifically for women in the outdoor industry and also women who recreate outside a lot. It's a huge part of our lives, and it kind of defines us. I know it defines me. And there are a specific set of challenges that women face, from like subtle sexism in the industry to fear of like going alone, because there's a lot of stigma against girls going hiking and doing things alone. And I just want to help more women feel empowered to do everything from going backpacking by themselves, or even living in a van by themselves, or just living a more fulfilling life in general, and getting over the fears that we have.
And so I guess kind of going hand in hand with that, what's something you could kind of advocate to maybe girls who are still in high school, the younger generation? Like, what are things that they can do to kind of basically follow your path a little bit?
I mean, I wanted a van when I was in high school. I have a little drawing that says "Ski Jam, live in a van" that I made when I was in high school, and it was kind of a dream of mine, and a lot of the people around me thought it was like dangerous and unrealistic, and here I am several years later finally doing it, and I kind of wish I would have just jumped into it right away. You know, you got to follow your gut. It doesn't matter what other people's opinions of you and what you want of your lifestyle. You ultimately have to live your life for yourself, I think, and that's kind of the big thing that I've been trying to do, is live how I want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I guess another thing going with that, your parents, what did your mom think when you first moved into a van?
She was not stoked on it, did not like the idea of me living in a van at all.
And how about now?
Still does not like the idea of me living in a van.
But I mean, at the same time, I mean, we ran into your mom earlier today, and it seems like you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah, she's just accepted that I'm going to be the disappointment in the family.
But I mean, for those kids who potentially want to do these things, what are some things that they can help their parents better understand what they're doing?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just like educating people about it. It's definitely kind of an alternative lifestyle, and a lot of people immediately think the scary homeless people down by the river kind of scenario, but when you show people like professional mountain bikers and professional climbers that are living in their vans and working. It's just a new way of doing things, and I think as like YouTube is progressing and there's a lot of different people that are putting their lifestyle out there, I think it's going to help everyone understand it a little more and maybe consider going for something a little bit different.
And so you used to also not only work in a bike shop, but at one point you owned your own bike shop.
I did, yeah.
So are there any things that you experienced in terms of, I mean, like sexism, just kind of things that you overcame?
Yeah, huge amounts of sexism in the bike industry, which is really unfortunate, you know, and that's ultimately the reason why I left, because I just felt really underappreciated in my role of owning the bike shop. It's one thing to be an employee and have your customers looking over your shoulder at the male mechanics, but being a female mechanic and owning the bike shop and having people not take my opinions and repairs as legitimate was very frustrating. And it's just a hard thing to deal with, and I think confronting people is one option, but oftentimes men and women don't even realize that the subtle sexism comments that kind of occur. So it's just a tricky situation.
And so I'm sure with everything you're creating, you're going to kind of better lead the way to overcoming a lot of these barriers.
Yeah.
For like any young girls who want to start working in a bike shop from an early age, like say middle school, high school, what's some advice you can kind of give them to better prepare them for what they're going to experience?
You're most likely going to experience people assuming that you don't know what you're talking about. And I think it's really important to be heavily educated so that you can not have that happen as much. So just knowing more information about bikes, how to do the repairs, just trying to be as educated in whatever the questions that are going to come at you as possible, and also just going for it. You know, it's hard to feel welcome sometimes, but ultimately just sticking it out is the most important part, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions for you. How do people, and by the way, I'm going to put all this information in the description of the video, but how do people reach you?
So my Instagram is Callie.Waldschmidt. My business's Instagram is wild_grit. And you can also hop on the website, wild-grit.com, or shoot me an email.
Right, and we're gonna put all of this information in the description of this video, so definitely check it out. But Callie, thank you for showing us Rhonda and was it Jack? What's your bike's name?
Yeah.
And Jack and Dusty, and just welcoming us into your van life.
Of course. Thanks for stopping by.
Rad. You.